50 don't rate my team, can't get big cause little cuz knifing. Who's he? Let me on sight and put his face in the tea, we don't need lighting, no we want fighting.
Yo, what's good? In today's video, I'm gonna be making an Asian inspired drill beat with Bkay sound in mind. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you ain't, welcome back, bro. The channel's almost at 2K. I just wanted to give a quick thanks to you guys for taking the time to watch my videos. Whether you rock with me or you think I'm a complete dickhead, you've still taken the time to watch my shit, so you've played your part. Thanks.
Great success!
Anyway, today we're gonna cook up something I could hear millions, pounds, or OFB on. Get your stank faces ready. Let's get into it. Fucking creaky ass chair, fucking up my mic. Alright, so this week I've been on a bit of a sampling wave, so we're gonna chop up this Asian sample that I found on YouTube. Pitched it up a little bit just in case of copyright. We're gonna start by finding some sections that I feel would be interesting for the chorus or the verse. Alright, so I think I've identified just there the parts where I want the verse and the chorus. So let's chop out a verse first. Alright, so we'll chop off this part. So I want that part to be my main verse. That part's going to be the chorus. Press C, make a chop there. So I think I've identified the two main parts that I want. So now what we're gonna do is fire up good old tune back, drag our sample in there. And now we know the BPM is 115. Let's go in here, fit the tempo, type in 115. And let's try and get these different sections on beat. While I'm working on this first piece, I'm gonna just consolidate it real quick so that any changes I make to it won't affect this one. The last portion of this is on beat. We just need to fix this first part and then we'll just make it loop. I'm gonna make a chop here and I'm gonna find where I want this first part to begin. Right, I'm gonna chop here. I'm gonna drag it forward a little bit. Make it unique so if I make any changes it won't affect the rest of the track. And then I'm gonna just drag it here. Since I've stretched this, it's gonna sound a bit fucked. But if I change this to auto, that should fix it. Right, I'm liking how that first piece is sounding, so I'm gonna just duplicate it over, and that's gonna be like our main verse. I'm probably gonna play about with the pitch later, but for now, it's working. All right, now let's sort out the chorus. Turn this to none, make sure this fits properly. So let's just duplicate that over again. And this is gonna be our chorus. Or I might switch the two around. I'm not sure yet. All right, so let's see what we got. You know what? I think this second part is gonna be our verse and this is gonna be our chorus. So next, let's bounce this out and we can start playing around with the pitch of it. Now I've noticed with the first couple beats here, timing is a bit off, but what we're gonna do, apply some kickstart to that, and hopefully it won't be as noticeable. I could fix it manually, but can't be fucked. Also, I've noticed there's a little pop here. But hopefully once we add some drums to it, you won't really hear it. Alright, so I'm really liking how this verse part is sounding, but I'm not really liking this main chorus part. So I think what I'm gonna do is make this first part unique and then go to region, chop, time-based, chopping beats. Now we're gonna try and play with these chops and try to make something a bit more interesting. Actually, you know what? This is sounding like booty cheeks. I'm gonna get rid of this shit and go back to what I had before because I think I'm starting to overthink it. Alright, so I've got my melody bounced out. Now when I'm doing my percussion, I usually do it in like a 4-bar loop. Then when I'm happy with that, I'll extend it to 8 bars and just make a few adjustments. Throwing an EQ on the melody and removing the lows. Alright, so there's a lot going on with the melody, so I'm gonna keep the percussion pattern quite simple so that the beat has a bit of space. Lay 1 down, skip 2, lay 1 down, skip 2, skip 1, repeat. I'm gonna raise the velocity on these a bit. Now that we've got a basic pattern down, I'm gonna go in and just add some more notes just to spice up the bop a bit. Ah, shit. Now I want to make these counter snares a little bit wider in the mix, so I'm gonna throw an imager on there, hit the stereoize button. Maybe I'll try cranking up this echo and delay knob a little bit. Now we can lay down the clap. I don't know, it sounds like the counter snares need something. I want them to sound a bit more hollow, so maybe we'll try out a different sound. You know what, let's try adding some looperator to it, because I want like a little rewind effect on there. Now I'm gonna lay down like an open hat or something. Percussion, I think that's it for now. I don't really want to add too much to it, so let's move on to the 808. Now what I like most about Bkay's beats are his 808 selection. He tends to use quite aggressive, distorted 808, and his patterns are pretty much all over the place, but like in a good way. I'm just gonna lay down basic notes for now, and I might adjust how the melody sounds going into the second verse, but for now, we're just trying to establish a vibe. Now when people send me their beats, this is something that they get wrong a lot of the time, so listen closely. Since I know that my sample's in C# minor, what I'm gonna do is go to this menu here, view, scale highlighting, go to C# minor, and I'm gonna do the minor natural. Now that we've got these little white lines here, we know that these are the notes that we should play to keep our 808 in key with the melody. If your 808s are out of key with the melody, the beat is gonna sound like shit. I'll make this 1/2 bar long, crank up the velocity a bit. So now we've got the bass pattern down, we can go in and add some rolls and just make it sound nicer. For my rolls, I want them to be quite tight and hollow. That's what she said. So I'm gonna make some chops here, go to 1/6. I'm also decrease the velocity of these rolls a bit because they sound a bit too loud. And I want it to kind of slow down here, so I'm gonna make a roll, but I want to make it as long as the note, so it kind of slowly rolls down. so I'm happy with the first 8 bars for now. Now we're gonna move on to the second part. I'm gonna intentionally keep this section quite simple, just as a part where the beat kind of dies down a little, so there's a bit more space for you to focus on the imaginary vocals that are going on. And for the end of the 16th bar, we're gonna add some rolls just to signal that we're going into a chorus. We're gonna pan these notes manually as well, so the pattern's a bit more interesting on the ears. I've always been told I pronounce the word ears wrong. I say ears instead of ears. Is that how Americans say it? Ears. Not sure why that's relevant, but I'm telling you anyway. All right, so let's check out the pattern so far. Alright, I'm happy with that so far, so let's go in and throw in a kick. Also, side note, if anyone's wondering what I've got on my master, it never changes. I've got some fresh air, just to increase the highs and the mids a little bit, and it makes it sound a little bit crispier. And I've got a soft clipper, so none of my sounds are gonna clip. Alright, so we're gonna raise the boost on this a little bit. Since I've got my soft clipper, it's not really gonna clip. Now we're going to the piano roll and lay our notes down in A sharp, so it hits a bit deeper. One thing I also like to do is sometimes I'll add another note and lower the velocity a little bit, just to add a little more bounce to it. Maybe I'll raise the velocity just a little bit. I think I might do actually. I kind of want my 808 to have like a swelling kind of sound effect, so I think I might adjust the attack a bit. So instead of it going woo, it will kind of be like woo. I don't know why I did that, thinking that like you'd understand what the fuck I meant. Alright, let's add a bit of impact to that kick. Copy these kick notes in here. Just only have it playing for the notes where I want the most emphasis. Alright, so I'm happy with how that's sounding so far, so I'm gonna do some arrangement on the beat and then I'll show you guys what I've done in a sec. See you in a bit. And we are back. I've added quite a lot, so I'm gonna show you exactly what I've done. I thought the 808 patterns were sounding a bit flat, so I went ahead and threw in a grime. And what I did for this was just go into my piano roll of my main 808, copy that, go into my grime 808 and just paste that exact pattern. I pretty much just got rid of all of the notes in between and left the grimes at the ending notes. So as you can see here, this pattern is pretty much exactly the same. And it just adds a little extra layer of sauce. If you want to know what I got on my mixer track for that grime 808, I used the Prod Verley's Grime Converter preset, which is basically a stereo enhancer and a little EQ getting rid of some of the lows and the highs. Also, I went into the Prod Verley Cybercrime Drum Kit 2 and stole one of these little fills. I made this repeat once every 8 bars. I also got this nice little vocal riser from my Aerobeats drum kit and panned that manually a bit to the left, threw in this drill riser. Also pan that to the left, threw in this whoosh perk. Also pan that a bit to the right. Also threw in these axle gunshots and applied some pancake to that, set it to 1 bar, so every 1 bar, gunshots in a different air. For the intro, I also applied some halftime and set that to a quarter loop and got rid of some of the low end. And then I also automated it coming off here, leading into the first verse. So in terms of structure, I added some grime 808s just to keep the 808 pattern more interesting. Added some drum fills to spice up the percussion a bit, and also added some risers. In terms of my mixing, I just leveled the sounds to my liking. And like I said, on my master, there's fresh air and a soft clipper. I went in through in some OFB is-pop vocals just to see if the beat worked. And here's the finished beat.
Jay, turn it up a little. This life that I live, I ain't changing at all. I see 3-lane things on Insta. I'm a playboy, so I'm paging them all. A lot of wiggins, so I stay with the cool. Even when I'm raving, God, stay with the ooh. I heard Donny balled me in the chest, must have been blind and he weren't aiming at all. Donny had no training at night. I told them I'm sliding in. Something gets done and me smoking now. Do try come to the O, but I got cancelled like it's rolling loud.
If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching as always. I ain't gonna lie, this beat took me fucking forever to make. Today's one of those days where I was just overthinking every little thing and it really slowed me down. But as a producer, these days are gonna come and go, but it's important to keep trying and push through it and trust the process. And eventually, you might make something that doesn't sound like shit. Anyway, if you found any value in this video, consider hitting the like button. If you don't wanna miss my next video, consider hitting the subscribe and the little bell next to it. Now that you're done watching the video, if you wanna learn how to sample for drill, check out this video next. Oh, by the way, drum kit coming soon.